Welcome to Tyler's Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Today is June the 14th, 2022, and we got some WWE's Monday Night Raw to talk about because we got some qualifying matches. We got one guy in Money in the Bank ladder match, and we got two more women to be in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. No other extra matches got made yet, but we did hear that Impact Wrestling Slammiversary made three matches that wasn't part of the show that they put on social media on their YouTube, technically their pre-show, just like WWE does. On the pre-show, the returning of the reverse battle royal happening. So I'm guessing I'm trying to remember how this match goes. I think everybody starts outside the ring and then try to get in the ring, and then I think it was the last four or the four people that got into the ring will have a match. 4 or 2, I don't remember which one. And then they will have like a pinning match or a normal match to win an opportunity to a title. I think that's how it works. Maybe they would tell us the rules when they announce it, but I think that's how. I think they did it like one time or a couple of times. And I don't remember how the rules. And then we got the Digital Media Championship on the line. It will be Rich Swann defending his title because he's technically the current champion, but he doesn't have his title because Matt Cardona stole it and he gave it to Brian Myers. Brian Myers for the championship. He gave him the title, and now we got those two going to be fighting each other. We got Brian Myers versus Rich Swann for the Media Championship, and then they said that there is another match announced. It's going to be for the Knockouts Tag Team titles. It will be Madison Rayne and Tennille Dashwood defending their tag team titles against Decay's Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie. So that's going to be interesting. And let's get to Monday Night Raw. We do have a lot of segments that happen, except for the beginning of the show and the end of the show. Okay? And Bianca Belair had her thing when she talked about Rhea Ripley and the Judgment Day, and then Rhea Ripley was on Titantron. She had some things to say. But nothing big happens. So let's get to Monday Night Raw right now. So the first thing we got, Miz TV. Miz's special guest is Paul Heyman. And nobody attack anyone here because it's Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman doesn't wrestle. But he says a whole bunch of things, and that there's going to be a stipulation for the Undisputed Universal Championship match on SmackDown between Riddle and Roman Reigns. Riddle came out, and then he says he doesn't care what kind of stipulation it is, because if Roman wants to keep his title, Riddle says he has to kill me. He has to kill me because he's going to keep on fighting. Will Roman do that? We will find out. But the stipulation is, if Riddle wins, he gets the title. But if he loses, he can go for the title again while Roman is champion. So Riddle can't win the championship. If he loses, he can't be the number contender until Roman loses the Universal Championship. And then the Usos came out, and then the Street Profits came out to make sure Riddle does not get beat up by the Usos. I just spit. I didn't mean to do that. But ladies and gentlemen, and then we got our first match of Raw. We have Jimmy Uso versus Montez Ford. And the winner of that match was Jimmy Uso. Good job for him. But remember, the Street Profits gets a shot at the tag team titles in the future because they beat them last week on Raw. So, let's see what happens there. Will we see new tag team champions? Then we had Dana Brooke versus Becky Lynch in a rematch for the 24/7 title, but the match didn't happen. Becky Lynch destroys Dana Brooke. She says it's not about the 24/7 title, it's about the Raw Women's Championship, and she wants to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. She doesn't have a qualifying match tonight, but she wants the match. And then Asuka came out, and then a big brawl between those two happened. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we heard that next week, one of them will be in Money in the Bank, because we heard that Asuka will be versus Becky Lynch in a qualifying match for the Money in the Bank. So that's going to happen there. And then we have Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan teaming up to versus Doudrop and Nikki ASH in a qualifying match for the Women's Money in the Bank. So we get two women that whoever wins this match will be part of the Money in the Bank with Lacey Evans. And ladies and gentlemen, the winner of that match was Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan. I enjoy this tag team. When they bring back the women's tag team titles, please make those two as a tag team. Then we have Ezekiel versus Kevin Owens. Well, this was an interesting way of Ezekiel winning. He wins the match by countout because Kevin Owens heard the commentary calling Ezekiel, and he was getting mad and he was getting pissed because that's supposed to be Elias. That's what Kevin Owens been talking about. He's calling Ezekiel a liar because he says you're Elias. So Ezekiel wins the match. Kevin was pissed. He went on top of the stage. But Ezekiel says he's not done with Kevin Owens for a long shot, but he wants a shot of the Money in the Bank. And he did announce that next week on Raw, Elias will be making his return to Monday Night Raw. The question is, are we going to see Ezekiel and Elias together, or would it just be Elias? Is it different personas? Just like Jeff Hardy as Willow, or Mankind, or Mick Foley as Mankind, Doolittle, and Cactus Jack, and we don't see Mankind with Doolittle, we don't see Mankind with Cactus Jack, we don't see Doolittle with Cactus Jack, because it's the same person. So, are we going to see that? Are we just going to see Elias next week? Are we going to see that? Or will they both be in the same arena together? Hey, they could be twins. Who knows? Next, we got MVP will be versing Cedric Alexander. Looks like MVP could wrestle again now. Thank God. The guy is great. He's talented. But ladies and gentlemen, he versus Cedric Alexander. And the winner of that match was MVP. Then we had Seth freaking Rollins versus AJ Styles. Seth Rollins had his interview about his attack last week, and he says he said a whole bunch of things I don't remember. And then at the end, AJ Styles attacks Seth Rollins, knocking him off his chair, and he says that's for Cody Rhodes, because what he did to Cody Rhodes was sad. Like seriously, now Cody's gone for a couple of months. And ladies and gentlemen, then they had their match. I thought this was a pretty good match for the show. It was pretty decent. I enjoyed it. But the winner of that match was Seth freaking Rollins and heading to Money in the Bank. He's the only guy that qualified, because Drew and Sheamus both got disqualified, so they did not get their way. They're not in the Money in the Bank. Then we had Riddle versus Ciampa. Some reason Miz was on commentary. I'm guessing Riddle might have a rivalry with the Miz after his Universal Championship match against Roman Reigns. But ladies and gentlemen, Riddle and Ciampa had a good match as well, but the winner of that match was Riddle. Then we had Chad Gable versus Mustafa Ali. Ali lost his match. It's the main event. I thought I missed a match here, but I guess I didn't. Ali lost his match at Hell in a Cell for the United States title. Now he loses to Chad Gable. Then we have Veer versus Rey Mysterio. And guess who won that? The winner of that match was Beer. And then we had a pose down, pose off, whatever you want to call it. The Muscle. We've seen this before with Scott Steiner and Triple H when they go on the platform and show their muscles. And there's different type of names of these poses that I don't know. So that happened, and the winner of that match, challenge was Bobby Lashley. But Austin Theory wasn't done there. Theory wasn't done there. He said there's one more pose, and then he just sprays Bobby Lashley with baby oil all over his body, into his eyes, and then he drop kicks Bobby Lashley out of the ring while Bobby was like blinded because of baby oil in his eyes. So that happened there, and I'm guessing we're going to see Bobby Lashley versus Theory for the United States title sometime. I think when John Cena makes his return, because Theory has something to say about John Cena in his interview before the pose-off. And he says, his victory is going to be bigger than John Cena's 20th year celebration, something like that. I don't remember what he says, but he did say something about John Cena. And now, I'm guessing we're going to see Cena versus Theory maybe at SummerSlam. Does Cena have a movie to worry about during SummerSlam? I don't think so. That's why he's coming back here. Or maybe John Cena's having a match for the United States title at Money in the Bank. Who knows? But ladies and gentlemen, that's all for me today. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys tomorrow for NXT's 2.0. It is upsetting about that 2 times guy, but they said WWE says they could bring him back in a year. So I haven't heard that for a while since they made a whole bunch of budget cuts. None of them came back in a year. I think some of them did. I think some people did, didn't they? I think Drake Maverick did. Not in a year, but like a couple months. But he could come back in a year and to settle this, whatever happened, why he got released. It wasn't because of budget cuts. It's because of some backstage policy, something like that. So let's hope everything is clear when he does come back, and maybe he will team up with Tony D'Angelo again. He's supposed to be the match in NXT 2.0 tonight because NXT is taped, I think, for a couple of weeks. So there's some things. I think it's because of hockey or some other playoffs is happening, so they were taped. I think there's some sports that's happening on USA Network as well, because that's what happens with AEW Rampage. They had to do a different time to start the show. Sometimes it's earlier because that later at night that game is on. Any type of game is on. So yeah. So if you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Tyler is out. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.